Mhm. Hey guys, Andy again. Spoken Label. My friend here, the wonderful Dr. Jack Hunter. Jack is now going to read out a little extract from his current book. Take it away, mate.
Yeah. So this is a little section about living stones, or cerrig byw in Welsh. Okay, so in his survey of Welsh folklore in the 19th century, the American journalist Wirt Sykes noted that in the tradition concerning Welsh stones, abundant personal attributes are recorded them, such as in nature only belong to animals. They were endowed with volition and with voice. They could travel from place to place without mortal aid. They would move uneasily when disturbed by human contact. They expanded and contracted at will. They clung to people who touched them with profane or guilty purpose. They possessed diverse qualities which made them valuable to their possessors, such as the power of rendering them invisible or of filling their pockets with gold. In keeping with this wider tradition of animate rocks in Cymru, there are also tales of magical stones in Dyffryn Tanat. In particular, there was once a tall, pointed stone pillar in the village of Llanrhaeadr y Mochnant, known as Carreg y Big, which, according to the astronomer Vicar Canon Silas Evans, can be approximately translated as the bickering stone or the bicker stone. Once a year, usually on Sunday during Gwyl Mabsant, the festival of the local patron saint, the men of Llanrhaeadr y Mochnant and the surrounding areas would gather around Carreg y Big and challenge each other to climb to the peak of the stone and shout out, "I am Captain Carreg y Big," if they were able to reach the top. This was seen as a public demonstration of the villagers' physical prowess and skill. The historian Richard Suggett explains that Mabsant festivals were often intended as occasions for neighbourly hospitality, but in reality, these celebrations frequently descended into brawling, drinking, singing, and dancing. Indeed, the annual competitions to climb to the top of Carrigabeeg would often turn violent, with skirmishes breaking out around its base and young men fighting for the honour of being labelled Captain Carrigabeeg. It was not uncommon on the following Monday morning for people to ask how many had been injured or killed in Llanrhaeadr and Mochnant, trying to reach the coveted pinnacle of the standing stone. Noticing that there was clearly something unusual about the stone's unpleasant influence on the villagers, the parish priest of Llanrhaeadr and Mochnant, the Reverend Parry, employed the services of a farmer, Mr. Morris, from the nearby village of Penabont Llanech Emrys, to get rid of the stone and its malevolent influence. It's said that the farmer used a large team of oxen to remove the stone from the village at night, while the villagers were asleep so as not to ignite their covetous rage, secretly hauling it across the countryside to his farm in Penabont. However, as soon as the farmer arrived at his home with the stone, he noticed something peculiar. A weird, unpleasant atmosphere lay over the whole place. The farmer was horrified to see his farm animals beginning to act oddly, sizing each other up, barking and growling. Before long, a hideous scene played out on the farmer's land, with his animals turning on each other, viciously attacking, fighting, killing, and goring, all while trying to get closer to the cursed stone. Finally, aware that some evil and malevolent spirit occupied the stone, the farmer dragged it to a nearby pool in Avon Tanat, deep enough to swallow the monolith completely, and cast it into the cold water. From that day onwards, the village of Llanrhaeadr and Mochnant was free from the malicious influence of Carreg y Big, but it's rumoured that the farmer who released the village from its curse later drowned in that same deep pool, enticed into the cold waters by the stone's malicious promise of power, dominance, and prestige. Okay, there we go.
Wow. Excellent stuff indeed, that mate. That is absolutely it's fantastic. It fits in really, really well, that Jack, and what we actually discussed in the first half there, really down to a T. And what you don't know is, one of my friends, Lee, was actually, I think he's going on about this morning to me, he was about this that very stone. He didn't name it, but I'm sure it's that one. So it's like it's
Ooh, interesting.
no, brilliant stuff indeed,
Yeah,
that. So
perfect.
yeah, I wanted to tell you that because, like I said, what people wonder at your book is, the book is full of stories like this, and like it's they always say sometimes myth is stranger than in fact, don't they? Sometimes you're never quite sure how where some of these stories have come from. Sometimes, like you said, with some of these Bronze Age stories, did you find that yourself when you were researching them, looking at some of the stones and stuff, thinking, where did they get people get their information from all the way back then?
Yeah, no, well, I think that in some ways, people got their ideas and inspiration from the land itself, and that people do sometimes have interesting, interactions with particular kinds of stones. I do think that stones actually are much more alive than we often tend to think. They work on different kinds of timescales, but they might, there might be stones that are friendly towards us. There's a great story from the Ojibwa people in North America where they had a stone. Chief Berens had a stone that would open its mouth and give people medicine. So this
Oh,
is a friendly
wow.
stone.
Wow.
And then there are stones like Carragabig in Llanrydder, which are malevolent, and they seem to corrupt people who interact with them. So again, it seems like stones also have different personalities, characters, and that kind of thing.
It's interesting that because you look at a lot of ways, there's a lot, even though we technically own this world, there's a heck of a lot we don't know about it yet. And
For sure there is.
that's really raising a very good point on that indeed. So it's been great fun today with Jack. So thank you again for this, mate. A quick second plug for your music as well, then. Obviously, to wrap up with,
Yeah.
obviously, you've got a new single out today. Where can people get your single from again?
Yeah, so if you search for Mascot Moth, the band, you should be able to find us quite easily. It'll be up on YouTube at 3 o'clock from today, so easily available for you guys. And
Brilliant.
yeah, on the Bandcamp, mascotmoth.bandcamp.com.
Brilliant. Is there any more releases in mind for music then for next year for yourself?
Oh yeah, well we've recorded a 10-track album called Mothership, which is going to be released through singles over the next few months going forward. So
Ah,
that'll be
good luck with
fun.
it. Good luck with it. I'm going to be subscribing to that tonight, definitely, mate. So look forward to it then. I'm going to tell Eric off for not telling me about this, right? Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Eric. Right.
Yeah.
Listen, Jack. Happy Christmas, mate. Okay, and happy Christmas, everybody. Listening to Spoken Label. We shall be back in 2026. Keep an eye on Jack. He's a busy man, and it's been great fun today. This. Thank you, mate. Right, folks. As the one thing Jack doesn't know is I love American wrestling. And I've nicked a saying from Don Callis over at AEW Wrestling over the last couple of years, which I'm going to use anyway, which is stay safe and stay over. And we will see you all in 2026. Take care, guys.